see, another thing that I like about it is they've implemented a use-based skill system, and that is absolutely my favorite way to level up skills. Use-based skill system. So it reminds me of EverQuest 1, the first EverQuest, Star Wars Galaxies. Lots of other games, not lots, but games that I like. That feature, the use-based skill system. Because I think there's something really distasteful, for me at least, in a video game, about just clicking your mouse button to add points to a skill and suddenly you're an expert at that skill. I've never liked that, and I really do appreciate that. It's a sort of, if you use it, you become better at it. If you don't use it, you aren't good at it. That makes sense to me, so I think that's a really cool thing. Another thing that I love is the player housing. There are player towns, and oh, we're in Esther Cove. Woot, woody woot. There are player towns, and there are also, besides the player towns, players can have homes and houses in towns anywhere in the game. And you can decorate them, and I have a total blast with that. I spend, some of my streams are literally hours and hours and hours and hours and hours of house decorating. You can craft your own furniture and rugs and collect artwork and various things to decorate your house with. And I love that. I mean, I probably have easily 100 hours of streaming here on Twitch where I'm just crafting furniture, gathering things for my house, and then decorating. It's very meditative to me. There's kind of like a Zen experience in just hanging out, decorating your house. Like I made a library, and it probably took me 12 hours to decorate that and put all the books organized on the shelves and stuff. And that's just my own geeky thing that I love about this game. So the questing, the use-based skill system, player housing, player towns, decorating the houses, crafting. And then also there is PvP, and I love that there are player organized PvP events and such. I'm following this guy to the in-game hangout spot, I think. Am I supposed to be following him? Maybe I shouldn't follow him. Is that rude? All right, the hangout's gonna start. I think I'm following him to the hangout, but now I feel like we're going around and around and around and around. When can I zone? I can zone again in 12 minutes. The hangout hasn't started yet, so I'll stream the hangout as soon as it starts. Seems like it's gonna be any minute now. My God, Jack Frost, where are we going? We're just doing like a swim around tour of Esther Cove. We literally just swam around that island. I don't know what's happening. I thought I was following him to the hangout, but he's just like swimming around. This is very interesting.
Eyes. So that is the quote nightmare mount, since we don't actually have mounts yet in the game. So again, that is anyone who pledges at least $5 today will be eligible to receive those, depending on how much money we raise today. So with that said, I'm going to go grab two of our first victims for you guys to meet the devs. And while I'm doing that, Lum, would you be so kind as to award a add-on store credit, $10 add-on store credit, please?
Okay. Well, the first of quite many, I suspect, add-on store credits today. Leo's Templar. Leo's Templar, you win $10 in add-on store credit. That will automatically go on your account, assuming Gina can find you.
Hooray, Leo's Templar!
That is an excellent point. If you are in the chat room, in order to be eligible for prizes, you have to be in a name that we can find you. So please use your SotA, at least your SotA display name when you're in chat. That way we can track you down and make sure you get your prize. Because if I look you up and you don't have an account, or you don't even have to have a pledge, but if I can't find your account, we can't give you your prize. So make sure you are using your display name for the chat room.
All right, everyone. Well, we're now going to start our Meet the Devs segment, and we have our first two victims in the hot seats. This is our amazing QA department, QA/CS, and all of the bugs that you guys write up for us and enter, these guys get the lucky job to try and reproduce them internally. Yes. They also have to, every time we complete something in the game, they have the enviable job of making sure it actually works, that we didn't just say we did it. So,
and Starr, if I can even throw in a comment there too, it is really hilarious. I think that a lot of people, when they think about QA in a game company, you think, boy, that's just got to be the funnest job ever. Except that people quickly forget that, QA members get to play things when they barely work, or at least are first or attempted to work, which means they kind of suck. And then by the time the game is any good, or by the time the feature is any good, they've already played it 1,000 times. And so, I actually think this is an amazingly hard job. These guys do it really well. The amount of throughput that goes on and off their desks to help make sure this game meets the quality level that you all expect as our consumers is just enormous. These guys do an enormous amount of work, so thank you guys.
And also is it Patience of Job? I'm showing my lack of I don't know. What's the patience of guy you're?
I don't know.
Anyway,
biblical patience person.
Biblical patience.
It is the patience of Job. Thank you for.
Yeah. Woo.
All right.
Still drinking coffee. They have to have the patience of Job, one, because it's incredibly tedious, but also because when they do have bugs, their primary job is approving features and addressing issues that have been fixed. And I cannot count the number of times when a programmer/artist/designer says, oh yeah, this is fixed, marks it resolved, and then these guys are the ones that have to go back out and mark it unresolved, and then frequently come talk to the developer about why it's really working.
Yeah, and
so, works on my computer.
Yeah, exactly. Works on my computer is the famous one. And I started, those of you who don't know, I actually started in QA, so I have some sympathy for them. Not much, but I have a little bit, a tiny little bit. So let's start with you, James. Why don't you introduce yourself? As he coughs, as he dies. See, we killed these guys.
I'm sorry, guys. I'm having a rough morning, but I'm James Cowser.
All right, Michael, you introduce yourself.
I'm Cameron. I'm part of the CS and QA department. Handle all the pledge modifications and work with James.
Yeah, so all you guys who've been requesting pledge splits and merges, that's the other half of Michael's unenviable job. So, Michael, how long have you been working in the game industry?
Professionally in the game industry, about a year. Some programming, contracting, and then mostly QA for Portal.
And what's your favorite game?
Skyrim.
Wow, nice one.
Okay.
Yeah.
And what's your favorite color?
Blue.
Blue. All right. All right, James, what's your favorite color?
Black.
All right, and how long have you been working in the industry?
Over 2 years now.
And what's your favorite?
Say System Shock 2.
Oh, that's a good one too. I actually made on that. So
You did a good job.
yeah, so there you go. That's a nice meta loop that we've got going. Anything you guys want to say to the community before we head off to the next folks?
I know what I like to say. I appreciate y'all's feedback. James and I do the QA department, but it's it's an MMO game. You guys do a lot of testing for us, and you guys save us a lot of time. So we appreciate it.
We appreciate that hard work and plug forms. Just make sure to include that /LOC data when you're making a report. That can save us 100 times the time it would take to find something otherwise.
Yeah.
And just for those who might have some knowledge of game industry stuff, the other thing that's very different about us versus other companies, these guys find maybe 10% of the bugs because you guys find all the bugs and then they try to reproduce them and verify them. So,
Yeah.
don't think that your bug reports are not needed just because we have this massive.
Yeah, this gigantic QA department. All right.
Speaking of gigantic, I think we have somebody who wants to show us something else that's gigantic while Starr collects some more people.
Oh yeah, so Bryn's gonna show you guys some dragon animations he's working on while I go grab the next one.
And Bryn, if you have a microphone, if you speak at least, you'll take the center screen.
Wow, that's an interesting voice you have there, Brent.
He actually really does sound like that.
Yeah, so I just muted him so that he doesn't do that anymore. But Brent, just so you'll know, yeah, you came across sounding like an electronic something or another.
Let me, I should be able to focus on him. Give me 1 second.
Well, we're just in time because we've got our next victims. We're not switching focus. All right. So now we're going to be flipping around between all the departments in basically chaotic random order because I was supposed to have a schedule and a set of interview questions ready for this, and of course all that's done, and this is not on the fly.
And
So,
in Starr's defense, though, I want to point out, Starr, are you playing through right now?
am I playing through?
As in didn't go to bed last night?
Yeah, I did fly in from Vegas yesterday, so I was at the
Business.
Syndicate contest. I was at the Syndicate convention, so it was business. Yeah, business. All right. So our next two victims are members of our design team, and so we've got Brandon Cotton here and Jeff Mills. B, why don't you introduce yourself and talk about how long you've been in the industry?
Yeah, B. Cotton. I've been in the industry about 15, 18 years now. I kind of lose count at times, but I do pretty much everything that is everything that's designed here. So pretty much anything that these guys dream up kind of comes to me to sort of flush out more specifically. So yeah, I've been here since day one, so it's been exciting to see how things evolve, how the design has evolved, and how we've sort of brought all these features to life. So.
And what other games have you worked on that people might have heard?
Originally, I worked on a console game Brute Force at Microsoft years and years ago.
Oh, yeah.
And then at NCSoft, we worked on Dungeon Runner. So at least had experience in sort of the console realm started off, and worked in the remote realm like that, and then I'll sort of start putting layer here. So
Did you have anything to do with the gnome?
Oh, the Bling Gnome. Oh, yeah, quite. Yeah, the Bling Gnome. That guy was great. Yeah,
So wait, for those who are not familiar with, can you describe what the Bling Gnome did?
Sure. So whenever we were on Dungeon Runner, we were trying to find different creative ways to add use to the game, and also things that had a functional value as well as an entertaining value. So the one thing with Dungeon Runners, it was kind of like a Diablo type game, but we had massive amounts of items, and the items were funny, and the modifiers on it were funny. So it was interesting to actually bring some humor to the game. It's kind of hard, a little difficult. So one thing in that game, you know, you had a limited amount of inventory space, but there were usually you kill something, and it was like a loot pinata. 10 items would pop out, and there's stuff all over the ground, and things like that. So people's inventory became limited quickly. So what we did is we had this little guy, this little gnome that followed you around, and he would basically eat all the items on the ground and keep gold out. So basically it was a way to save inventory. And it was sort of one of the big things we did. We had a box product. So we got into Walmart, it was like a $20 thing. And that was the big thing we got whenever we bought that. So it was kind of like, it was originally a $5 a month to pay for free or not. But then this was the box product thing. So you basically got your little Bling Gnome that followed you around. So even today, if you search for Bling Gnome on Google, you'll find all the Bling Gnome stuff that comes up.
So, ladies and gentlemen, Brandon Cotton's claim to fame is a gold pooping gnome.
Hey.
So,
And I think it's also worth pointing out, B, that you know, not only have we worked together more on than off for multiple decades now, but that you are the original founder of this company. And so, we all thank you for bringing us all back together here for this iteration.
Yeah, it's been amazing just watching how everything's evolved and how everyone's jumped on board. And just thinking about where we were when we started. You know, me and Dallas originally started coming to Richard's house trying to pitch him that he should sort of use the Ultima, or just use, you know, his past successes in a way to kind of restart a company. And so it's nice to finally get to this point, get to the point where we're finally starting to, where we have good funding, we're starting to finish stuff up, and get to the point where we finally, you know, that wrap something up here in 6 months or a year that sort of bundles up episode 1 and sort of has, you know, that dream that we thought about sort of finally realized. It's great to see just month after month the more features that we get, and continued fundraising is always, the company's never been better than it is right now. So that's a great thing. It makes us all feel good about the future. It's not any better than it is today.
So up until a few weeks ago, B had to basically do all of the combat, all of the crafting, and all of the creatures, and all the player skills, all by himself. And so, well, luckily we brought in some amazing relief for him, Mr. Jeff Mills. So Jeff, can you introduce yourself and talk a little bit about your career?
Jeff Mills, been working for 18 years in this industry. First game ever was Return to Condor at the 7th level.
Nice.
They say speak up.
Oh, here, I'll zoom in a little bit too.
Use your bar voice, not your indoor voice.
So yeah, this is my first MMO. The game's prior to this for the last 7 years here in Austin. That's my studio. We make games for the Wii and Gold. And I was brought on just last month to take over some of the crafting systems from the. And so for the last month, I've been making a system sort of from scratch that will based on player abilities and stats and skills and all this stuff. That's the core of it, and it's a systemic mechanism for building equipment and food and potions and all that stuff that will it's not limited by the number of recipes that we can think of. It'll be more system based. So all the properties that can be modified will be modified according to how you make it. So where you can allow players to make cloth armor for mages that has a ton of metal on it that sucks up their magic ability and causes all their stuff to fizzle. You wouldn't want to do that, but you could, and hopefully we'll have people breaking out new sort of character archetypes that we hadn't thought of. By like maybe you need somebody who moves really quick but can deal a lot of damage and doesn't necessarily need to use magic, but all of these things at a systemic level can be balanced and improved.
So those placeholder modifiers we put in 6 months ago, we're actually going to replace them finally. It's so exciting! It's so exciting!
Yeah, I'm excited about the stuff testing. A lot of times we do all this work and get the system there, and it's there and it's great, and it's you won't have the time to dive into it, but we just don't have the time to dive into it. So it's great that we've got him, that has a lot of experience that can help us dive in and get all these details and sort of dig and sort of help us figure out these problems that problems mainly just take a lot of design time and a lot of depth to understand. So it's great that we can finally get some bandwidth for him to be able to focus on that. So yeah, the stuff he's been doing, like the stuff that I wish I had time to do, so every time he works on it, I'm so excited about it.
I've turned the game sound off so that we don't have to hear that.
It's nice to find
people,
as just get time to focus on this stuff to kind of really bring it to life. So.
Awesome. Well, thanks, gentlemen.
Sure.
All right. Brent's going to show off more dragon while I grab more people. They're coming, I swear.
Oh, I'm seeing in game. I went and joined a group. There's a bunch of people practicing Gustball for this afternoon.
Oh yeah, just a preview that's coming up next after the Meet the Devs is going to be a Gustball tournament. Richard and Chris and I are going to play against the players, and we're going to do so well because we've been practicing our Gustball all the time. We are Gustballing like mad. I swear it. Anyway, so next up, we've got Finn Staber and Keith Quinn. These more members of our design team, although Finn straddles the line. Pro-ziner, we call him a lot. So programmer / designer, does a lot of scripting and things like that. Also does all our VFX. He's kind of a master of a bunch of different things. So let's start with you, Finn. So Finn, introduce yourself and talk about how long you've been working in the game industry.
Hi, I'm Finn Staber. I have been here at Portalarium for the last couple years. Love the team, love the project. It's a really cool game to be working on. Amazing support from you guys. I've been in the industry, I don't know, 7 or 8 years. I was in the Army right out of high school for 4 years, and then got out and went into school and studied a swap of things from animation and art, and then design, and realized I needed to know programming. So kind of started over and learned programming, and then been kind of working as a programmer / designer always. Love doing kind of the multifaceted, whatever's hard and needs to be looking cool kind of focus. This last release worked a lot on the book system, which I hear has a couple holes in it. Last week I was in the Caribbean all week. Got to actually have my first vacation since being in the game industry, which was pretty cool.
Wow.
And jumped into the water with my phone, so I was really unplugged for
Nice.
all week. And so, but yeah, so worked on a lot of books last week or last month, and also the Player Owned Town stuff, and got a couple of the new guys trained up. So it was pretty exciting to see the group building a little bit there, as well as having such awesome talent, coming on board from other games and stuff like that. So yeah, super excited to be part of it, and
Awesome.
happy to be back.
Yeah, we're happy to have him back.
First day back from.
Yeah, just walked in, so nice and tan and
Relaxed and happy, and we'll beat that out of him soon.
I'm pretty much always happy.
Yeah, he is.
Pretty thick skin. It's almost unbearable for some people. I think how always happy I am.
All right, Keith, can you introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about your career?
Sure. I'm Keith Quinn. In 2001, I switched from volunteer on Ultima Online to actual employee for Ultima Online as a community guy. Then a couple of years later, I switched to be an actual designer on Dungeon Runners. Anyone remember that? It was an awesome game.
We were just talking about that. We were talking about the pooping gnome, the gold pooping gnome.
Yeah, the Bling Gnome. It was awesome.
Yeah.
I don't know. There's a little side note about the Bling Gnome. If you watch some episodes of the Big Bang Theory in the comic shop before the Burn Down episode, you might see a Bling Gnome actually up in the on the shelves next to like a Tabula Rasa or Sudoku.
Oh, no way. Awesome.
Yeah, it was in there. It's awesome. But anyway, I've worked on other big games as well, like Star Wars: The Old Republic and DC Universe Online. But I've been here for 3.5 months, 4 months, something like that. And I'm a level designer, which what that means for me is that crossing over from world builder to almost quest guy, I'm placing the bad guys in the world, but making sure that they have a purpose and sort of a subliminal story to what's going on in the scene, making sure that the right bad guys are spread out. We have zombies and skeletons in the graveyards. We have bandits taking over towns or waylaying travelers. Maybe making sure there's a few rabbits here and there to mix things up a little bit.
Yeah, so Richard writes up the, Richard has his LB polish pass,
Yeah.
and so he writes up these strings of requests, and Keith has the job of like, oh, how can we actually do that with what we have technology?
Well, yeah, in fact, I think that's something interesting about both these guys. And again, they have played and continue to play in similar camps where, Finn he early on was already doing a lot of the more complex interactables, so to speak, for maps. And Keith, you've taken on a lot of that kind of work now too. And so you two are right at the core of making this game a Lord British experience in my mind. As you guys know, I've been pretty critical in, giving you guys pretty constant feedback about a little more of this, a little more of this, a little more of this. And I actually think finally now we're to the point where we're going, okay, we now have examples in maps here and there of exactly what I think the target should be. We just got to propagate it through the whole game now. Just simple thing like that.
Yeah, it's been actually pretty awesome having Keith jump on board right at the pivotal moment where we had a lot of the systems coming on board of, we had different different spawn management and resource management tools coming on board for the editor, and we had just a lot of engineering coming into place to allow a huge amount of design push to be going forward into the kind of the experience and the flow of which enemies you're encountered with and how the balancing is with different tiers of difficulty, and with the volume of space in these levels and the flow of the encounters that you'll have. We were just right at that moment to be able to, here's the tools and it's ready, and then Keith came on board and was totally able to take his experience with working on Star Wars and the other stuff and like really focus on how the players will encounter these numerous enemies or different characters and kind of set the standard for the spacing and flow of these spawners and these resources. So it's been really awesome to see over the last couple of months, as many of you have noted, that like it really is starting to feel okay. Like we see the groundwork of how awesome it looks and how the enemies can start to interact with you. But now with Keith's work, he's taking that volume of space and placing those things out so you encounter it with that feeling of a polished game, And so as every level we've had to have, if you've ever played any level in any release, Keith has gone back over it in the last couple of months and still has a heck of a list of other things to keep going back over and just polishing to that level of flow, as well as all the Easter egg stuff, all the cool little interactive things. When I think of Ultima, it was always like there was a deeper level of immersion in those old Ultima games. Whenever I talk to fans and stuff at conferences and stuff like that of the old Ultima games, there's a hole in their youth that was filled with one of the Ultimas, and how old they were was usually which Ultima that was, right? And so it's cool though, the common feedback from that is like, I got deeper into that game than I ever got into any other game. And that's because like the virtues and the choices that you make, they meant something, and they unlocked or blocked you from proceeding, and the kind of things that you would find felt like you found them. Like one of those examples I like to keep on reusing is, if I hid something in the real world, if I was going to hide something behind a loose stone in a castle, I wouldn't leave the corner of the treasure map poking out of the stone where somebody might find it, right? You're going to hide it over in the corner, and it's going to look exactly like the other stones. You're going to put it back in there in place. And even if you told your buddy where to find it, you're still likely going to have to draw them a map or something and describe what it would look like, because it's hidden. A hidden item should be hidden.
In those things. I have like little notes that I'm putting here and there, and like camps, or maybe you'll find a dead body with his hand on his own note. Skeleton over here crushed by a boulder. Little things like that.
Yeah, and that's the coolest stuff to find in games. So it's really exciting to be able to kind of focus on like what's awesome and what's fun to find in games. Let's put that in a game. Let's exceed that by making it difficult to reach this hidden thing. And that's a really cool thing to see, like players find those things and then explain them on the forums and stuff. It's just really exciting to see this stuff unlocked.
Awesome. Well, all right, thanks guys. We're running out of time, so we got to move to the next one, because in case you don't notice, Ben likes to talk. So
I'll also mention that I'm the guy who does random encounters these days, and I'll be doing more and more with control points over time, besides just general polish.
Awesome. Thanks, guys.
If you want to blame me for those things, that's mine.
All right. Hey, Lum, for viewers who don't know who you are, why don't you take this time to talk about your career and what you've done and what you're working on while I grab some other people.
Go Lum.
Well, okay then. I guess that's about as much warning as we ever get. Hi, I'm Scott Jennings. They all call me Lum here, both because we already have another Scott J, Scott Jones, and also because back in the early days of Ultima Online, that's what I wrote a blog under the name of Lum the Mad. Some of you old school UO players may remember it. Some of you old school UO developers may still give me grief about it. Ever since then, I've been in the game industry now for about 10 years. I started on Dark Age of Camelot, did some work at NCSoft with a lot of the guys who were here, and have been at Portalarium for about the past year and a half now, working on story, NPCs. Whenever you have to type words into an NPC conversation system, that was Richard's design and my implementation. So you get to blame both of us, and you also get to blame the guy who just sat down.
Oh, but in fact, actually, Scott, if I can even just say something there about you too. You know, one of the things I've really enjoyed, you know, is I've often said that I think the best games of our past are ones where we had people who really knew how to write, and versus the earliest ones where often I did the text myself, and I'm not good at English, much less spelling, much less many aspects of story structure. And that's one of the things I've really enjoyed about working with you is the level of professionalism. Maybe I should squelch the game here behind me. I apologize.
As I was about to say.
Yeah, and apologies for that. Anyway, it's been great having you on board, and I think the system you put together is actually, while the basis of having to type may have been my inspiration, you know, what you've put behind it as far as the level of sophistication that is possible with these conversations is far beyond what I had originally envisioned, and far more powerful than I had originally envisioned, much thanks to you.
And the thing I just want to throw in on Scott was not only, I think people think he's a writer, and so day one when he got here was pretty much, well, one, set up the forum, so he's also a forum overlord. But day two, well, maybe week two, was now go make a conversation system and quest system. And then we finished that, okay, now write all the conversations and all the quests. So he is multi-talented across the board, just like many of the people out here. So don't think just a writer.
That's the great thing about working at a project like this is you never get bored ever.
No, I can guarantee that. All right, our next victims have arrived. We have Joaquin Del Canto and Rick Holtra. So let's start with you, Joaquin. Let's introduce yourself, talk about how long you've been in the game industry and what you do on the project.
Okay, my name is Joaquin. Relatively new to the industry. I started in Fort Lauderdale in 2013. And this was my first real job in the industry.
This is why engineers usually don't interface with the public.
So really new to the industry, and really glad to be here, working on a great project and working with great people that have way more experience than I do. I've learned a ton just in the less than 2 years I've been here. So really glad to be here, and hope to be here for a while more.
Yeah, and Joaquin, if I can just jump in there and just say something about you too, you know, every time I hear you or someone else mention your newness to the industry, I'm again re-shocked, just because the skill, professionalism, and an apparent broad base of knowledge about how we do what we do, is really astounding. You definitely, at least to me, have always felt like not only an old timer in the industry in the sense of what you know and can do, but also your participation in this team in particular. It seems like you've been with us, for all of the relevant past. Anyway, super pleased and proud to have you on this team.
And I'd like to second that as well, that hiring anyone, if you look at a lot of the team members, they're people, as you heard earlier, 15, 18, 20 years experienced people. I am always reluctant to hire new people because it's such a risk, but we needed someone to do some UI work, which is what Joaquin started on. He still does, but just on the side. And I kind of figured it was like, yeah, we'll give him a shot, see what he can do. He's a new guy, straight out of college, straight off of an internship. And he has hit the ground running, and no one looks at him and says, help the slow guy, help the new guy, help, there's not any time wasted on him. He's been absolutely spectacular team member, can't speak highly enough about him.
Yeah, and he goes by Wizard Smoke, that's his username, so if you guys have seen that in the forums or in the game, that's who this guy is. And he's, while Chris was the one who really pushed us to move to the use-based system and laid out the initial design, Joaquin had 99% of the work to make that happen. So he is the guy who flipped us in one single release to a use-based system. So that was there's people who've been doing this forever who I don't think could have managed to do that in a single release. So
and made it look easy.
One of my favorite people to have design discussions with is Joaquin. Joaquin gets game mechanics really well and understands the whole flow really well. So we lucked out with getting you on the team.
Sweet. All right, and speaking of that, Rick.
Speaking of Rick Holtrop.
So tell us a little bit how long you've been doing this and what you do and all that good stuff.
Hi, everybody. Rick Holtrop. I am now a 19-year veteran of the video game industry. I can't believe the size of that number. I came into Origin just a couple years behind Starr in 1996. Thought I was moving from Chicago to Austin to go back to school, but accidentally got a job testing video games. And within 6 months, I was working on Ultima Online, some of my favorite times and some of my most awful times. Boy, we crunched a lot on testing that game. So I've been doing this since '96. Within a couple years, I managed to get onto the design team for Ultima Online 2. That was my first design gig, and really learned to love game systems and game mechanics as well as databases. For UO2, we used a offline disconnected database and access, and I really started wetting my whistle on that, and then I moved with these guys over to Tabula Rasa, where we had a connected database, and just fell in love with not just the rules of the game, but all of the data being in the game. And that continues to this day. I'm sitting at my desk right now kind of breaking down pledge rewards into a new reward system. One of the many things I do here, my official title is associate producer, and I do a little bit of the schlep work for Starr. I wish I could do so much more. Starr spends so much of his time managing tasks and time management and shuffling stuff out of one release into the next, making sure everybody has just enough. Ostensibly, that should be my job, so Starr could do more important things. But along the way, I've done some time world building and I've done some time programming. So wherever we've had a hole, I've tried to fill it. The last batch of months, it's been a really good time. Scott Jones will spend a month or two world building a scene for our game, like the Crag Mines, or what are we working on recently? What are we just the Epitaph?
Epitaph, yeah.
And so he'll build these worlds, these scenes for a couple of months, and then kick it over to me for kind of the technical implementation of having monsters spawn, resources spawn. During that time, Richard and Scott will spend a lot of time talking about the story behind it, and as I walk by or hear just down the hall, I kind of get in on that. And what a cool job to have to be able to make Richard's vision for the story come alive and Scott's vision for the visuals come alive. I really love doing that. So right now in the middle of doing a lot of content, you'll see me on the forums as Chaos. Every day or so I try to get in and post our daily stand-ups. When I miss a couple of days, I go backwards and get them on there. Really one of my few production level duties, but I just have such a great time working on this. And you know, I grew up playing Ultimas and was already a big fan of Richard, and within those first couple of years of working with him, remember I think I was testing Ultima 9 at the time, and it was really late, and I went up to the development area at the old Origin Studios, and the only person left was Richard, and he was playing Ultima 9, and he was writing down little notes about things to do, what was good, what was bad, and I said, Richard, you put your pen down, you just play, I'm going to sit behind you and just kind of take notes for you. And that's been the beginning of a really fun relationship I've had, not only playing Richard's games since I was 10, but my early 20s. I've been able to help create worlds with him, and hopefully it will go on for a very long time.
Well, yeah, Rick, you know, actually, if I can throw in a comment there too, you know, that's great. I think it's great you mentioned that time where you sat behind me taking notes. I remember that now too, and that might explain the thing that I was queuing up to mention about you, which is. You know, every one of the team sort of brings their own biases or skills to the team, and we all also have to work on multiple fronts just because we're a small team and you know we pass work around. But as you well know, one of the things I most strongly utilize and bring you in as the fixer or example generator on is vignettes or story fragments described both with the architecture of a space and the hints that you give in a space with books or NPCs, and the way you hide things, be that a secret door, a one-way trip through a hole in the floor, a loop-back strategy, to where your sense of exploration and discovery is really enhanced far beyond just having a beautiful scene to walk through, or far beyond just having a challenging scene to fight your way through. Right. And to me, you master that you know, I at least in the way that I think is particularly cool, and it might be a little bit biased because we've had so much common history now together on that front that I think you kind of see it, see that particular aspect particularly clearly, just because we work so, you and I see eye to eye because we work so closely together.
Yeah, even before we were working together, I learned it all from you, man. I grew up playing. I think Ultima 4 was my first find, Ultima 3 was my next find, and that really honed my sense of computer gaming. So yeah, I think we make a good team. It is one of my favorite things to do is to facilitate your vision. And as I said, hopefully we'll be doing it for a very long time. I'll be happy if this game turns out to be a 20-year-old, episode 5, still making maps and new player house. You can see I'm wearing my favorite sigil today. I'm the Care Bear of the group, so you won't see me PvPing or Gustballing much, but you'll find me decorating houses. Do we get a... No, didn't work.
For those, we should explain that. We have these shirts where there's the 3 different types, the crafting, the combat, and magic, and everybody on the team got one of each. And so every day at stand-up, we try to get a set where you have 3 of the same ones or 3 different ones.
Yeah.
You see, they have 2 crafting
and 1 combat.
And a combat. We need a magic in
We'll
there.
see if these guys can do better the next time they pull in a bunch of devs here.
Yeah.
Figure
All
out
right.
who's wearing what.
All right,
Thank
thanks,
you all.
gentlemen.
Good seeing you. Joaquin and I will see you later today for some board gaming. Fun.
Yeah. All right, I'm going to grab a couple other people, and you guys can look at Dragon.
Go, Bryn.
Yep. That sounds like an alien chipmunk.
But it does look good. It may sound strange, but it does look good.
And the dragon model did make it in the form of a statue, correct? That did go in.
So have we made 2,500 yet? Has that happened? Or are we close?
Let's see. I'm refreshing right now.
Dallas is supposed to keep us updated.
We're like $30 away, $28
Okay,
away.
woo, soon the first shot is coming up. All right.
Now $1 away.
We have our
made it. We've crossed the line, Starr. We've crossed the line.
Across the line. Oh yeah, warning. Adult content. All right. So
I'm in the line of drink time.
Well, I don't think we've got $28 left. Okay. All right.
No, you don't. Look, I'm looking at the feed on HipChat. Dallas went $20 away, and now it's shot time.
Oh, it's now shot time. Okay, hold on. Hold on, gentlemen. Yeah. I'm out. It's very important stuff right here.
Starting with a fresh
kids, don't try this at home.
All right. Cheers. Cheers.
Cheers.
Thank you, everyone. Nothing like a shot of vodka at 10:45 in the morning. Woo!
They really drank those.
All right.
I got you beat. It's 7:46 here. So
Wow.
cheers.
All right. So our next 2 victims, we have Eric Toubé and Jason Yinawine. So Eric, why don't you start and introduce yourself, talk about what you do on the project and what you've done, your career so far.
My career too.
Yeah, you got to talk about all that
I'll start
stuff.
off, people care more about, I'm sure, what I work on right now. So I'll start there.
Okay.
So generative AI stuff, mostly anything related to AI's minus conversation, behaviors, happening, navigation, spawning,
Chat
anything that's
time.
basically related to how NPCs behave and move around, that sort of stuff.
I'm going to do shots with the devs.
Yeah,
cool.
So I've been doing that since I started here, working on Shroud. So it's been fun, challenging. There's a lot of work to do. Got a lot of good direction from the 3 guys here, Starr and Chris and Mr. LB. So there's a lot.
And our direction never conflicts.
Never conflicts.
It's always in alignment. Yeah.
Yes, easy to.
It's always easy to implement. Yeah.
So.
Yeah. And prioritize.
And of course, I know that I'm always saying, while
Hi,
I want every NPC to be as intelligent as any human being on Earth,
Yes.
while of course not dragging the servers to their knees from a processing standpoint.
Yeah.
No problem. But
yeah. And how long have you been in the game industry?
Since about 2000.
Yeah.
I've worked on console stuff. I've worked on PC titles. I've worked on phones. I've worked on basically just a wide variety of lots of stuff. I think PCs are my preferred platform. Right now, at least, we get to use better tools, and there's less constraints for performance, and I think we can be a lot more creative. So that's awesome.
Awesome. Jason, introduce yourself and talk about what you do.
My name is Jason Genowine. Got that correct?
Thank you.
Is
it not? Do people not get that correct often?
Sometimes it happens. Yes.
Okay. And do you work on?
I was gonna say I started in '92. Working on,
same as me.
Help me.
Working on Strike.
Oh, I tested that game.
So there you go. And I started on AI in that game, but so I know how interesting that can be, and know that the budget is always zero for CPU use and memory. So it's always fun to that work.
So which part of the AI was the part where, as the guy you would shoot down, would pick up his radio and scream into his radio? Because that was always my favorite part about combat flight simulators, is that as the guy is dying in flames, he takes the time to like open his radio and go, ah!
That was fun.
Yeah.
There was actually one. I'm not to take up too much time with striking.
Yeah.
But there was this one line that was my favorite. The guy who was the leader of the group, whatever his name was, I can't remember.
I don't remember either. Yeah.
He had a pipe, and when he got killed, he would say, "Tell my Wi-Fi."
And that was it. And then it was cut off. And then he was cut off.
Cut off. Right
Yeah.
there. The fact that he would get on the line, he would have a pipe.
As he's dying. Yeah. And so you work on the back end, right? You're the server guy.
So things that I do work on back end game logic, interactions,
and so
stuff like that.
Those of you who may have noticed, like since we went live November last year, we've had 0 unplanned server downtime.
Oh my God.
Yes, and I'm cursing us. I know I'm not where everyone's talking about. Jason's like, don't say that. Don't say that.
Can't say that out loud.
Yeah. And we have an amazing engineer team, and Jason's a big part of that. Of like we have like one of the most stable back ends. We have the I've never seen a more stable back end in an online game. So, thank you, Jason. Everyone, thank Jason. All right.
Any other questions, comments?
No. What's your wait? How do you pronounce your forum name, Jason?
I don't even know. I never say it out loud.
Unpronounceable.
I think it's Astart, isn't it? Isn't it Astart? I think it's Astart.
Debating me now.
Yeah, I am just a little bit.
PG-13, folks.
Just because Richard always talks about how much time people spend together, these are also, along with Jeff earlier, our new crafting guy, and Eric and Jason, we worked together at the past company and loved working together so much that we're all over here now. And that also goes to a few other people as well. Rick was actually at the past company with us at Redfly, as was
Redfly. A lot of us worked together already before, at least once or twice or 3 times, especially Jason.
All right. Well, thanks, gentlemen. Thanks for the time. All right.
Bye.
All right. More dragon while I grab more people.
Yeah, there's a player named in the community. I think he works for Portalarium, and his name is Astarte.
Gene, are you able to bring focus to that dragon? I can't tell. Doesn't look like it for me.
I broke the flow because I grabbed Bren for the next one. So.
Oh, well, there you go.
Dragon's going to be still for a moment.
That explains why the dragon has suddenly stopped animating here in front of us.
I was actually grabbing another cup of coffee because it still is very early here, and the shot, I've got to kind of counteract it. And, or you guys are lost later on because I'll forget how to actually start one of these things.
All right, we have our next
It
victim.
got really quiet, and I was like, oh no, why did it get so quiet? Did it drop? And I like ran back in here. Nearly busted my butt.
Don't bust your butt yet. All right. Oh look, Brent is doctoring his coffee. Okay, so we have our next victims. We have Michael Hutchison and Brendan Wilson. I've been working with these guys a really long time. Michael, why don't you start by introducing yourself, talk about what you've worked on and what you're doing for our project.
So, hi everybody, I'm Mike Hutchison. I've been working in the industry since 1991. I started out in at Sierra Online and worked there for a number of years.
Yeah, me too.
And worked on lots of their adventure games, and also worked with Starr and Richard starting at NCSoft many years ago. And so on Shroud of the Avatar, I'm working as the art lead, focusing mostly on environmental stuff, helping orchestrate the look of the environments and doing quite a bit of world building, mostly towns lately, but some adventure scenes as well.
Yeah. And we're giving you a break from the player-owned towns for one release where you're going to work on the Island of Storm. So
cool.
You get one release break.
Yeah, which, by the way, for those who don't know, that's going to be very cool. You guys, you've all been starting in
Bullis
Bridge, and there's 3 kind of starting areas based on truth, love, and courage. But the actual true starting zone is off on this island that Michael's building now. So I, for one, am pretty excited that the game is continuing to align in its proper shipping structure. And this should be a particularly exciting place to start. It's
awesome.
And I know I'll be curious to see how it turns out.
Yeah, we're all curious to see how it turns out. All right, Bren, why don't you talk about yourself a little bit?
My first game was Ultima Online. I kind of came in as a character animator, character modeler, stuff like that. Ended up kind of character animation lead all the way through that, and the Second Age and Third Dawn, a little bit of that, and then UO2, and worked my way through Tabula Rasa. Been with these guys since '96, basically. So I'm working on my 19th, finishing out my 19th year.
Wow.
So, yeah. So on the team, I'm the animation lead, the animator,
and the only the animation lead and only animator.
And I'm also the technical animator. So I do all of the character rigging and all of the setups and everything for the characters. Work close, hand to hand with Jeff Mellon and Kevin on all the creatures and stuff, and kind of get them moving as we can. So.
And you lead some of the other part of the project too.
Oh yeah, and I just started taking over, helping out as much as I can with audio development. So doing some sound design and helping with some of the guys that are designing sounds for us, and kind of getting things shoehorned into place and trying to get the sounds, making it sound a little bit better, and fill in the gaps where they are. So that'll be a process that's ongoing.
So because he didn't have enough to do doing all of the rigging and all of the animating of everything in the game, he also volunteered to do the sound effects stuff.
Yeah, which, by the way, as long as I've known Brent, and I've known Brent not only as a game developer, but also as a rescue dog, guy too. So, we've known each other in the office, out of the office, for a long time. But it was complete news to me. I had no idea that he had that, this Foley interest and skill. But it turns out it's kind of saved us. For those of you who have been watching the game for a while, you know how behind we were on sound effects. And we really didn't have an internal strategy to make up for this big gap. And Brent just said, hey, by the way, that's sort of what I do back at my home studio on my own time. Why don't I just take this part over? And we're like, what? Or at least I was like, what? And so it's actually turned out to be a great additional way he's saved our skin. Thank you.
Cool. All right, thanks, gentlemen.
Thank you.
All right. Okay, go down there. All right, next two victims.
All right, while he's doing that, you got him on queue already?
Yep.
I'm queuing them up ahead of time now. So get.
Oh, good thinking. Good thinking.
We're running behind time.
Yeah, we're gonna be late for Gustball.
That's all right.
I'm, by the way, already there at the Gustball, and I have our uniforms, so you guys have to come talk to me for your uniform.
Okay. I have to get our uniform. All right. So our next victims, Ken
I'm
File
gonna be trashed.
and Justin.
I just found out it's a 12
All right.
hour.
Introduce yourself, Ken.
12-hour dev
Ken.
hangout.
Been here at Port Alarium about 2 years now. Before that, I was at NCSoft and Kings Isle Entertainment. So I knew a few of these guys from NCSoft.
And what do you do on the project?
I am a programmer, and I also do all the builds, most of the client builds and releases, random design work.
And he did the dynamic play your own town tool.
Yeah, a lot of the features I work on are plot, housing, town related.
Cool. Justin, also known as one and only.
/ Deathbringer /
Yes. He's the guy who kills all of you.
Yes. Programmer, lots of different game systems we have in the game. Latest edition was the weather system.
Players now want lightning to strike them.
Yeah, which, by the way, I think it's a great idea, but maybe episode 2. But by the way, let me also just mention both these guys. When we on the client-facing side of functionality, these guys are just building just a ton of it. So it'd be hard to actually list out all the player-facing stuff these guys have done. But I think between the two of them and maybe one or two other people on the team, it's pretty much all of it. Anyway, many kudos. This game I think really is living up to fulfill players' expectations about kind of what we claimed from the beginning, and I think you two are, have been really key to fulfilling that dream that the players and we have shared together. Thank you.
Thank you.
Sweet. Anything else you want to tell the players? No?
I owe them one.
You owe them one? What do you owe them?
I couldn't kill them in the last dance party, so.
Oh, you couldn't kill. Oh, right, because we were having some performance stuff, so we couldn't. Yeah, that's a big letdown because he's the one who always kills everyone. So, and he often kills me. So.
Maybe we'll have it fixed for one of the events today.
Maybe, maybe. We'll see.
And hopefully he's gonna, and hopefully Justin will get it fixed to where I can't kill myself. I discovered yesterday, fortunately when no one was watching, that I could kill myself jumping off of Dark Star's Queen of Chaos. And I understand it's gotten better in this build, but it's still not fixed. So
no, it's not fixed.
Justin was just telling me how he has a change list ready with 34 files that need to be changed. Just to fix it down.
All right, so today I am in peril. If I ever forget to keep GM God mode on, I am in peril. And but by the way, I just turned it on, so at least at this exact moment, I am not in peril, I hope.
Yeah. So those of you who don't know, we're actually going to try and do a patch between Gustball and PvP events today. So what could go wrong? Because I think the rules are always patch on a Friday night. And always patch while you're trying to do live events, right? Isn't that what all the management books say? Yeah, cool. All right, excellent.
I've actually been fixing bugs in the background while you guys have been talking. So.
All right, next, great, more changeless. All right, thanks a lot, guys. You gotta go that way. Yeah. All right, next victims. So those of you who don't know, we're actually gonna try and do a patch. Yes. Between Gustball and PvP events today. So what could go wrong? Because I think
Or is that your chair?
My chair. You guys have to sit right.
I was trying to take a seat.
Yeah, the red chairs are the hot seats.
I see what you did there.
Yeah. All right. Our next victims, Zach and Esteban, or sometimes known as Steve or Easy. Easy is so he has a lot of names. So Zach, why don't you start by introducing yourself and talk about what you work on the project?
My name is Zach, and I trying to figure out if I should start with my.
So what have you done in your career so far? What's your background?
This is my very first thing that I've done. I came straight from ACC, Austin Community College, and Portalarium was very kind to give me an opportunity to come in and work on Shroud of the Avatar. And in Shroud, I've worked on a lot of things, actually. I've worked on mostly the crafting system, a lot of server-side and client-side work there, and then a few gameplay things, some decoration stuff, factions a little bit. There's a lot of stuff I can't really think of at the moment, but the main thing is crafting, and I do a lot of server logic as well. So.
Yeah. So as we've been adding features to the crafting system, this is the guy who's been responsible for that. So the fact that we now have salvage and repair is because of Zach. And as we've added the ability to have modifiers, the ability for materials to both have attributes that affect the item and affect the color of it, the dyeable system. So, you know, a lot of that, you know, making stuff part of the game is Zach's part. So, and by the way, those of you guys are coming on, we're running a little behind schedule. So Gustball is going to start a little bit late because we're still in the Meet the Dev segment, but we're going as quickly as we can. All right.
And stay hanging on.
Hi, hello. So yes, I joined Portalarium. Seems like just a while ago, but it's flown by. Joined Portalarium about a month and a half ago. I'm currently working on world building, lots of world building. That's probably my main thing. Currently working on one of the starter maps named Blood River. And before this, well, I just graduated really, so it's just kind of fresh off the oven. But I did spend some time at Team Chaos working on mobile games, and I've been working on games for years, about 4 years now. So just gradually working on mobile games, and I'm great to be part of Portalarium.
All right. Well, thanks, guys. All right.
Oh, and also before you guys run, if I can just mention too, you guys are some of the newer folks to not only this project, but the industry. And jumping in on this project mid-project is definitely a trial by fire. I mean, you guys know very well how much we know. It's like, okay, you have a desk and a computer now. It's the day after. What have you put in the game yet? And you guys have really risen to the challenge to really be incredibly productive straight out of the chute. And so thank you. You're making such an amazing difference already in this game and what we're doing here for the players. So thanks.
Thanks, guys. All right, next we're going to have our character team. Jeff and Kevin, have a seat in the red hot seats. All right, so as you've probably seen a trend, we have these really large departments. So there's a lot of people working on each segment of the game, So like you saw our giant QA department, and this is our giant character team. So Jeff, why don't you start and introduce yourself and talk about what you do?
I'm the character lead on the game. I've been at Portalarium two and a half years ago.
What else have you worked on before?
Before this, I worked on Guitar Heroes, Transformers, Tony Hawk's, all kinds of Activision games and some EA stuff. I've been in the industry for about 15 years, and actually Richard's the reason I'm in the industry. He changed my direction from comic books to games when I saw Ultima 7, and I saw there was actually art in the game. So he's the one that did that for me. Right now, I depend heavily on Kevin for all the stuff we have to do. So everything you see in the game new is between him and I, and actually Brevin. We all sit in the same room and grumble and work our behinds off to get you guys all that cool stuff, like the dragon, which you guys will see. And the Underdwellers were this month. I think we're looking at Fawns and other things for the next release. And then the other big thing that we do, since there's only two of us, we also do a lot of the concepting. So Richard and Starr will say, you know what we need, and then Kevin and I will say, okay, now let's see if we can make it look like you want. And then after a couple of iterations, we concept something you want.
And you guys do all the wearables too, right? So
all
the armor and clothing and weapons, you guys do all that too.
Hey, Starr, you need to unmute. Somebody muted you, and I can't unmute you.
Where did we cut off? Now you're muted.
You were talking about wearables.
That
Okay.
That was my fault, guys. Sorry about that. I was just trying to do some stuff around here and I muted it. That was my fault. My bad.
Okay.
Don't do stuff.
Okay.
Speaking of wearables, all the cool wearables that you see every month that come out are generally Kevin. Kevin is the hat man. He's the one that comes up with all the cool.
Oh yeah,
hats
Hat
that we
Man.
do.
Lies! I'm the master of hats.
And so, Kevin, you're fresh in the industry, right?
Yeah, so I've worked here for a couple years now. Before this, 0 games for me. So yeah, it's been awesome. I really like it.
And what did you do before this?
I worked in the oil field up in North Central Texas, actually.
How'd you like that?
It wasn't as much fun, really.
Yeah, cool.
And Kevin, I got to say too, you are one of the most productive people I know. Talk about head down, crank it out kind of stuff. It's very easy for us to not realize or give credit to just how much you crank out of such quality. And and especially you're another one of these people who are going like, yeah, it's my first job in the industry. I'm going like, what? It just seems so shocking just because your skills were obviously being unused in your previous life. But really, it's just amazing the talent, effort, and output that you put into this for us. So I'm just thrilled to have you on the team.
Thanks so much. That means a lot, man. It really does. I appreciate it.
And between things like when we were doing wearables and creatures are hard enough. Just when the base level creatures are hard enough. When you guys started taking on some of this much more complicated things like big monsters, which not only have bigger issues of sculpting and animating and bones, but then have to physically work within the world in ways that are different than avatars. It was a pretty big challenge that we put off on purpose because we knew it may or may not work, comparatively speaking to an avatar. Yeah, it's flown right through. You guys have got it through smooth as silk. So congrats.
Thanks.
Awesome. Thanks, guys. All right, our next two victims, Andy and Bob. And is that everybody? All right, great.
Unless we want to get Dallas.
Oh, we gotta get Dallas in after this. He'll kill time while we go get set up for Gustball.
I will not.
More pixels, fewer polys.
All right. Bob has said he will not share a screen with Dallas. So, all right. Our next two victims are from our environment art team. We have Andy and Bob. Andy, why don't you start and introduce yourself and talk a little bit about what your career is and what you're working on.
My name is Andy Cortez. I'm an environment artist. This is the first professional game I've worked on. I've done a lot of other smaller stuff in my free time. I went to the same school as Kevin, even though we never had a class together. And that's about it. And so I do environment art here, a lot of props.
You're also doing world building now too. So
Yes.
you built the city of Desolus, right?
I did Desolus. I did the Verdant Shard Fall.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Cool. And that's about it. Go ahead.
Yeah, Bob.
What?
Bob, introduce yourself.
Hi, my name's Bob Cooksey. I'm a architecture builder mostly, but I do all kinds of props and that kind of stuff as well.
So, and you build all the player houses that everyone sees.
The player houses, the airships, what else did I do? Dark Star Metronome.
Oh yeah, and let's talk a little bit about the workflow between you two. Yeah. Yeah. So
No,
Andy, what do you get to do after Bob makes
It's not
stuff?
so much a flow as a start to flow and then
sputtering.
stops abruptly with Andy.
So-
Thank you, Ben.
So Andy, you have to fix a bunch of stuff maybe sometimes, and Bob hands up.
Sometimes.
Yeah.
It's normally Bob finishes the model and he hands it off to me, and I do some of the more technical stuff as far as getting it into Unity, getting it, functional in the games.
Yeah.
That's a nice way.
That's a nice way of putting it. That's a very. That's. I was very
You're calling him a lightweight or something. What exactly are you trying to say?
Yeah, what are you trying to say?
Yeah. This is the most polite I've ever seen them. This is amazing. Oh my gosh, we're supposed to do another shot. Okay. So while we have you guys here, you get to watch us. Yeah. Well, we said we. Yeah. All right, here we go. Another shot. Woohoo! Yeah, Tito's vodka.
Thank you.
As I spilled it on my laptop. All right, cheers. Thank you.
Whiskey.
Jack Frost brought this.
Cheers. We're doing shots
Oh, yeah.
with the devs. Cheers.
You want to do a
Cheers,
shot too?
cheers.
Sure.
All right,
That's
Bob's
why I
gonna do a
mixed
shot.
it
Oh, look, that Bob's
Yeah.
gonna. You want to do a shot?
Sure, yeah, I'll do it.
All right, look at that.
While we're getting Bob liquored up, I'm going to go ahead and announce that you must actually make a purchase, of a new purchase, in order to qualify for the items. If you're buying something with a pre-existing store credit, that does not count. So if you already have a store credit and you spend it, that does not count towards the new item, and it won't flag you correctly. So be
Yes,
sure you're making a new
thank you.
purchase.
All right. So we're gonna have Dallas come introduce himself while we go over to our systems and get set up for Gustball.
And I just wanted to call out, since we just had two perfect examples, actually two pairs of perfect examples. One of the things that we do on the team is we have a lot of really senior people, but then we also bring in a lot of junior people just because they bring stuff in and try to get the really talented junior guys. And as we've seen with guys like Andy and Joaquin and Kevin, even though they're new to the industry, pairing them up with some old hands from the industry that know exactly what they're doing and can really help guide them. It's been amazing getting that youthful enthusiasm in here, tying them up with the senior guys. So, anyways, I've got to go get ready for Gustball.
All right, so let's see. Okay? They're going. So I guess we're going to see them join the stream here momentarily, and I actually will show my camera. Why not? I wonder if I can drive by looking at that camera. Probably not. I'll see what I need to do here. Gorn.
Hola, amigos.
Good to see you, sir.
Same here.
By the way, everybody else did the introduce themselves. Are you up queued to be doing that here yourself?
I can certainly do that for a couple of minutes while y'all are preparing for your Gustball tournament. I do have an hour-long segment later on today where I will wax on most eloquently about many of my thoughts and passions in our Make a Difference campaign. So I don't know how much time we need here prior to the setup. So
we've got at least 3 to 5 minutes.
Okay, yeah. Looks like I'm gonna be pretty busy today. I've been sitting back there. I was supposed to be involved in the first session, but I got too tied up trying to track the incoming funds. To make sure that you guys are all taking your shots when you need to be taking your shots. And that's my primary responsibility today, to make sure that y'all don't miss any shots that you're supposed to be taking.
Although, by the way, during the Gustball session itself, I'm not gonna put down my mouse to prevent being slaughtered to actually play the Gustball. And by the way, Gina, is somebody going to actually stream and put focus on the a camera position of Gustball as the main part of the screen? Somebody on key for that?
Yes, I can do that.
Okay, that way I don't need to stream mine, so I can.
I was going to actually share my screen of what we're broadcasting.
That is perfect. What I meant is I can lock on to you to make sure yours stays on focus on our camera as well.
Alrighty. Are we ready to join that? Try and do that right here?
Let's see. I'll have to leave myself unmuted also. There's Atos. Let's see. I'm going to start. It's going to take us a little while to share around, for example, all of the equipment here. So, pardon me as I give out a set of gear for our team to wear so we can all look good. Here you go, Atos. Put that on, and I guess that means I should be putting some on too. This is the first time I'll be in a uniform that is not of my Lord British style. Look at that. We look fancy.
I would just
Excellent.
that I think this is already an unfair enough match with the people we have on the dev side manning our team, and it's even more unfair by the fact that our devs have had to take 2 shots already.
And I think it's only fair that the opponents should at least take 2 shots themselves to get on the same playing field.
I agree. What a great idea.
Yep.
Yeah. I think that's great.
Do the opponents also get a infinite supply of focus as well?
Oh, burn! That was good.
Hey, Starr, you think it's time for a prize yet?
Yes.
Oh, yes, thank you. Yes, please.
Are we seeing this on that side?
Do you have a challenge coin that you can show the camera? I have one, but I don't
do.
have
Back
the
on
one
the
we're
table.
giving
Dallas,
away.
you've got one in front of you.
Behind the camera. There it is. There's one side of it, and there's the other side of it.
Okay, we're going to be giving those out all day today, and the first winner of a challenge coin for today is Damus, D-A-M-U-S. Damus, you are the proud owner of a challenge coin. You can now show your loyalty whenever challenged by someone else, because people will often walk around, the outside world and ask you for your SotA challenge coin.
Happens all the time, several times a day, in fact, especially here in the office.
Okay, so I'm ready. What do? I stand on this thing?
Yeah, that's hilarious. Yeah, we don't really even know, do we? No. Yeah, you can tell this is going to go well. How many of us are on a team, for that matter? Is it just the 3 of us?
Atos, you're not supposed to have weapons.
Put away your weapons, Atos.
Oh, hold on. I'll get them. Put them away.
And does the development team have a team name?
Devs.
Born losers.
Losers. Yeah.
And even though Spec, that was nice of you to invite us all into a party, we probably need to dump that. And Starr, do you want to pull us into a party here?
Invite you guys.
Hang on, I gotta get out of mine here. How do I?
Oh, I need flag PvP. I gotta do that, huh?
Yes.
No, you don't.
Guys need to flag, yes, you need to flag PvP. In Gustball, you are actually allowed to gust the opponents, so that is something you'll need to be aware of. And if you use the wiki, you're actually out of date as far as the rules of Gustball a little bit.
Yeah, and here's how often I play PvP. I've got to figure out how to switch myself to PvP. Is there a GM man for that? Hang on, I've got the GM.
No, I don't think so. I was just looking. Hold on. We're so prepared for this.
Yes, exactly. Do I have to literally go now and go to a?
Yeah, we have to go to the Oracle, I think.
Pardon, we actually literally have to go visit the Oracle.
No, you don't. I've got GM commands for you.
How?
Okay.
Put it in the hip chat there.
I'm in group with you. I'll tell you in group.
Okay.
I don't want to announce GM commands outside of.
We are so competent.
Yeah, this is gonna go great. We're gonna rock it. And by rocket, I mean fail miserably.
Have you said anything to us, Atos? I didn't see it.
Yes, I think I sent it. Oh, I sent it on our group.
I didn't see it.
I didn't see it.
You do /p space.
Thanks.
Cunt, Holic. It's my disco cunt.
There you go.
Would you like some suggestions on how to build your deck as well?
No,
we got that good. We're all cool. We're great.
Okay, y'all are perfectly fine with how your deck is built. So you have Juxtapose and Gust both in your deck?
Yes, and Dash and Sprint.
What about Tap the Soul?
Yeah, we're fine. We got plenty of focus.
Yeah, you've got that infinite pool of focus.
And we've got Warriors versus
Not infinite.
I'm modifying my deck just a hair.
Can you pull that door shut?
All right, I'm ready.
All right. I think I'm ready too. This is gonna suck.
And so apparently there's a ball involved, and we're supposed to move the ball somewhere. Is that what's going to happen?
To the far goal.
Now, did you want Laz and myself to do the very colorful commentary that we normally do on our Twitch stream?
Oh, absolutely.
Absolutely.
And now, we do have to flash, this is probably very PG, maybe possibly R-rated.
Yes, warning. Adult content may ensue.
Please be sure you have your big boy panties on.
And also, I have a question. What happens if the ball goes out of bounds?
The referee will
then
call
you
it
have
for
a
you.
Gustin. Yes. We do have 2 referees today. We have Edward Newgate and Gurney. They are both the referees, so pay attention in chat. Oh yeah, guys, also make sure and watch the chat window. Do not watch the text overhead because there is the delay there.
No problem. And by the way, I'm told people watching the stream, I do not see the game stream as the focus. So whatever's needed to do that, Gina.
I'm sorry, I'm juggling too many monkeys. What do you need me to do? I'm already focused on Jack.
That is
Game
not
stream.
what the streamers say.
On the game stream.
No, not the
Harry?
game stream, yes.
Oh, should we focus on Harry?
That would be me. Starr, nice to see you. Richard, nice to see you.
You?
But for
Chris,
example,
I know
anytime
you're out
anybody
there.
else speaks to Gina, I'm still seeing it swap to the other person. So
I'm trying, I'm locked up.
Chaos. What did
oh,
go
hey, by the
wrong?
way, our team, should we have a little strategy? Like, is somebody going to play goalie while somebody plays forward?
Don't
No,
reveal that.
we need the
Keep that in
strategy.
private chat.
All right, so we'll do that.
I just announced that.
I see. I got it. I see.
All right, I think we're locked now. All right.
All right.
Alrighty, we should have Gustball live here. So we have the Firehawks versus the Born Losers today here, Jack. As we get ready to go, Edward Newgate and the folks have supplied uniforms for everybody. Nice, sharp-looking colors for everybody. Edward is about to introduce everything. Edward, if you take it away.
You just took that in, I think.
No admin superpowers.
here,
We're
Edward.
not using any admin superpowers, although we wish we could.
Might have missed my merge, but if it did, I'll be right.
I think it did. There are 2 changes, actually.
Now the rules are very simple. There are a few spells that you can use. And the idea of the game is to gust the ball into the goal.
Yeah, one time.
I understand that developers have added a new spin literally on the ball. The ball actually has a couple new additions to the graphics.
Merge was taking a long time. That's the one problem with
Unmute.
frame rate for games. Isn't very good.
Is this on Twitch as well?
I presume we'll get a countdown.
You will. Anybody else hear Jack out there? Jack, go ahead and say something. For some reason, Jack is muted here in Hangouts, he says.
Funny how it all gets quiet. We're all getting so serious now.
Yeah, no, we're going to win.
You guys
By
are
win,
all
I
here
mean
to me.
lose.
Has anyone explained to anyone who's unfamiliar with this how Gustball started, what it is, and how it's something that actually we had almost nothing to do with at start?
It was started by Bambino Latte. Bambino started with the idea of bag ball originally from the original game Ultimate Online. And they were talking about ways to find a way to play some kind of game like that, and they created a player named the Ball. And they originally started gusting him off the top of the tower of the Shattered Eye. The winner would gust the loser to his death.
And Laz, your microphone is breaking up, so
That's what
you
it's
might
telling
want to
me.
check that out. Yeah. It's probably the same problem I have most of the time where you're hitting too many buttons at once to talk.
I'm hitting no buttons.
Okay.
Let's see what we can do to reduce some bandwidth here.
So, okay.
Is punching allowed?
Yes, you are allowed to punch. You are actually allowed to gust the other players. You're not allowed to damage them, but you know punching them is not going to do anything. So don't worry about trying to punch the other players. But since you are all PvP enabled, it should be able to block things a little bit better. So pay very.
By the way, punching for us actually might do damage. So because even though we're not using any specific real-time cheats, we all have pretty butch characters. So
I'm pretty sure he just called you guys a bunch of wusses.
Uh-oh, what happened there?
Yeah, the Firehawks are now a bunch of pansies, and they need to be afraid of being punched by the
look
developers.
at that! That does just a point of damage.
Oh, that was.
Damage.
As a demonstration.
Yes.
I think that was moving across the line. I think that was a foul.
I do not have cheater stats, by the way. I was just confirming that by punching somebody for 1 point.
And Laz, if you want to up my volume, you can always go into the toolbox. It's something on the left-hand side, and then you can click on the volume control, and you can actually move my volume up just to make Amber happy.
I have no control over that since we are talking over the Hangout.
That was how to do it in the Hangout.
And also, you're no longer streaming the game, Laz. It looks like lost stream.
There, did I lose you?
I didn't know he was playing. I tried to fix it.
Technical difficulties.
For us, this would be a typical Sunday for Gustball.
Lazarus, look over on your left-hand side. You can present your screen.
Yeah, I just lost that there.
I just like looking at my list.
Oh.
Oh, Go was called for some odd reason, so you guys have started. So far, the ball's not moving very far. It is on the Firehawks territory right now. It has moved across the line into, actually, it's going ping-ponging right now. For some reason, there is a little bit of net lag, so maybe we need to get Justin back in here to go fix some things. And ball is back at mid-court.
Here we go. I am back.
Oh,
It's
so
time
close.
for you to, I know, so very close. And the
Oh,
ball is
they're
moving.
playing good defense.
Don't forget to use those combos that juxtapose and gust so that way you can suck the ball in back into you because you just don't want to blow on the ball all the time. Although blowing on the ball does make it feel happy. Look at it bounce up and down.
Yeah, well, look at that.
This is the first time the developers have actually been playing with the ball, so we'll see how well they can blow it.
Alright, we should have the stream resumed.
I promise to blow really well.
Yes, yes. You're not just sucking on the ball, you're going to blow the ball. Gently, though. You have to blow it gently.
So far, we're keeping it on the.
Yes, y'all are definitely keeping it on the Firehawk side, so
Okay,
maybe that character wipe was planned. So that way, because y'all did know that the Gustball was coming up, so y'all really tried to nerf their skills. And
it's out of
we
bounds.
do have an out. It is. So the Firehawks will be the ones that actually get to gust the ball in. So y'all might want to back up and form a circle around, so that way y'all can gust it back.
guys,
So
be
sometimes it is actually relevant to use that juxtapose and gust to suck the ball back towards you. Now, guys, I am actually, let's see, I am not doing my normal, very, very slightly perverted commentary, so I am trying to make it closer to PG-13. Closer to PG-13.
Am I offsides or anything? Where do I need to be? Does it matter?
You are fine. Yeah, I mean, you might want to be within gust range of the ball instead of way back on the line. Yeah.
Yep.
Alrighty. So I don't know if we have the stream back up on the main channel.
Yes, it is.
All right. Very good.
So the ball has been gusted back into play, so it is free time to play with the ball.
Now, of course, the idea here is to handle the ball very gently while penetrating the goalposts.
Well, you have to penetrate the hole between the goalposts.
PG-13, PG-13.
We never said anything bad.
I warned you beforehand. We warned you beforehand. Innuendo is perfectly appropriate.
Not that we're drinking or anything on the stream.
Yeah. Okay, and the ball has gone out again, so we will have the Firehawks gusting the ball back in.
And you are watching the Portalarian developers versus the Shroud Avatars players here on live stream today. It's the Firehawks versus the Born Losers.
All right.
And the Firehawks are captained by Kazan Phoenix Fire, who has actually done a lot for the community as far as running just different campaigns. They have Grimace on their team as well as Mekong Peacemaker. So, and the Gust-In is going to be done by Kazan Phoenix Fire, so we're looking forward to him coming out.
This is so awesome.
And Beetle Bear, Lad stole my line about Gus blowing the ball between the goalposts.
And let's get a little in-game audio here now.
I just heard from Burning Toad that there are currently 90 people in-game watching this.
Wow.
Very nice.
That is awesome. Yeah, tell Justin that he needs to come watch this and not to slay everyone.
Oh, they're getting closer to the hard side.
Yeah, the ball is bouncing. I mean, y'all are making the ball extremely happy. It is somewhat erect by staying in place. So hopefully it doesn't deflate. And you need a
like
nap
a
after
firm
that.
Ball.
You guys are incorrigible.
Hey, this all started when the ball was a player, so it is one where I have been told that I actually have to include more innuendo on my stream.
Oh yeah, the ball's actually on our side of the court there briefly. So we've been holding our own, not bad.
And some of the guys that are actually watching in our channels are actually saying the innuendo commentary is what makes it so good. That is a guy watching on Twitch who goes by the name of Idiot Noob 1.
Idiot Noob, how you doing out there today?
And then the NBNN News has some love going on in their channel as well.
Killer 2002, Miles 2233, having a nice little chat. Yes, there are mages, there are knights, there are everything you can think of here.
It is a class.
Great suggestion. You can just drop the idea in the forums. You can chat with Lord British or the developers while they're in the game.
I love the uniforms that the devs are wearing. That's awesome.
That's thanks to the good folks in game who've crafted those uniforms for everybody. And we have a streaker. Free the nipple. Free the nipple.
Wow, all right.
So our first Gustball streaker has come and gone. So I don't know if they're going to be banned or not. I did not catch it.
It was someone called Hillary the Liar. I suspect that was probably not her main character.
I love this shit.
Yes, and that was the phrase that pays this weekend. Looks like we're going to have the ball being blown out again. So, guys, y'all are actually doing really well so far. I mean, it is a lot of fun. Are y'all having fun?
Absolutely.
Oh, yeah, this is awesome.
This is much more fun than I had anticipated.
Now, are you also using the juxtaposing gust, or are you just straight up gusting?
I'm just straight up gusted.
Just straight up.
Okay. Well, don't forget that you can like jump over the other team and go suck the ball towards you.
That requires a level 2 gameplay skills, though.
Yes.
Level 2. Yes. So you buffed up your characters to godlike levels before the game, and so you hit on that one button over and over and over again to boost your skills, didn't you?
No, I don't know what you're talking about. My index finger is not sore at all.
That sounds like a Synesys line if I ever heard one. I don't know what you're talking about, Lance.
Yeah, don't know what you're talking about. Yeah.
Alrighty, and one more time, we're going to have another gust in. We have Grimace ready to blow the ball in bounds.
Yeah.
Leila Kin is saying, suck the ball towards you.
Yeah, suck them balls.
Leila, we're going
That's
to leave
what
that
Max
one
Digmar
alone.
wants to say.
Hey, Richard,
Suck
let it
them
get
balls.
down closer to midfield, because then we won't go out so much.
I'll just catch up on all of them.
Well,
This is
if you would
Gustball in Shroud of the Avatar, folks. This is a game invented by the players, and the developers were nice enough to actually make us a ball.
And now the developers are playing for the first time. They are playing with the Gustball. They are blowing it. They might even suck on the ball a little bit sooner.
And halftime has been called.
Okay. At halftime, take a 3-minute break. It is. Wait.
Break. Does that mean, biology pit stop?
Yes, it is. It is bio time.
Drink too. I'll be right back if it's time to drink.
And I heard that it is shot time.
Dirty.
Wait, is it time to another do a shot? What? Not
Yes,
yet. No, Dallas, not yet.
I don't care what Dallas says. I say it's time for a shot.
Oh, you're going to do a shot. Okay, that's fine.
Well, I have to go to the office to do a shot with you guys if I'm going to do a shot.
Oh, okay.
I actually don't have any alcohol at my house.
That can be arranged.
He delivers it all to the office.
Yeah, all the alcohol that I touch goes straight to the Portalarium offices, or I drink it while I'm in Hawaii.
All right, now
I'll be right back.
Switch sides.
And when you
Guys,
get back,
go to
switch
the other
sides.
side of the court.
My numbers show we're still $800 away from the next shot.
I don't care what your numbers say, Chris. You're supposed to be supporting my endeavors to.
All right.
Yeah. Am I gonna have to come down there and just like do an impromptu shot with you guys?
Jack, I think it's time, while we're in halftime, you want to give away a t-shirt? I'll take the third caller to 872-529-6266. That's 872-LAS-NBNN. Third caller in. Win a Relics by Rel t-shirt.
Oh, yeah. I'm actually wearing one of those right now, so I'll go ahead and stand up a little bit and show it off. So this is the Oracle t-shirt. Woo. I'm wearing the Oracle t-shirt, which is one of the ones that you can get.
Oh, man, I've never even seen one of those before. I need to get me one.
All right.
Okay, so a few weeks ago when I was dropping off the beer when I got back from Hawaii, you missed me standing next to Bob, and he's like, "Where'd you get that shirt from?" He'd never seen it either. Order those shirts off of Relics by Rild.
Do you know what I bought August ice cream for this weekend? We're getting ready to buy new carpet. And I finally asked him, I said, "Do you promise me that you will not make the carpet dirty for them?"
Maybe we should tell that we can use Dallas and Starr, Rick.
It's chatter.
Yep.
Shush up, Dallas.
Alrighty, you're live on the air with Portalarium and NBNN. Who we got? Kondo, you're the winner of a new shirt from Relics by Rild. Kondo, do me a favor. We'll get together with you afterwards. We know how to get in touch with you. We'll get your information in a little bit after the stream here. Alrighty, buddy? Congratulations. Thanks for watching. Thanks for playing Shroud of the Avatar. We'll catch up with you in a while. Alrighty, and we just gave away a nice brand new shirt from Relics by Rild. We're getting ready for the second half of the game. The score is 0-0. Firehawks versus the Born Losers. Everybody
and the
ready?
counter has gone off. It is time to gust. So they are back to blowing hard. They are a bunch of blowhards. I mean, if you just listen to them, it's like just random noise. Okay, so the devs already blew the ball out.
They're just blowing the ball out all the time.
I mean, y'all are crossing the line a little bit too much. I mean, maybe we should rein you guys back in. I mean, I don't know. I mean, you've only had a couple of shots so far. I think you need to drink some more.
Undoubtedly, that would help.
And Starr doesn't realize that he's been muted, so maybe we'll just let him continue chatting into the window.
They were giving us a. Maybe they were giving us a slacker time there at the beginning.
Maybe they were. I mean, the ball just got blown all the way across the field.
There it is. It's bouncing right over here near us.
Maybe they were just taking it easy on us first
Oh,
half.
look at that. Cleared over to the other side. Wonderful Gustball development team. The Born Losers. Can they score?
Oh, so close.
Can they blow that ball in? Oh, whoa. What happened there? I just lagged a little bit, and the ball's all the way on the other side now.
That's what I'm saying.
Happen?
Developers got some skill here. Just a matter of moments before that ball blows over.
Oh,
So close. We got a chance here, Dev. We got a chance.
Hey, Devs, really, one of y'all should jump into the goal and do the juxtapose and gust at the same time and suck the ball into the goal. Sometimes blowing isn't enough. Sometimes you have to suck.
Atos, that's you.
Come on, Atos.
So they're keeping, when they get close to the goal, they're blowing it off to the side. We've really got to work to counteract that.
All right, you get in the goal.
Okay, so we've got the gust in now. So be prepared to suck that ball straight into you.
Let's see how well the Born Losers can suck.
Wait. He's telling the devs to get away a little bit. You're a little bit too close to the gust in.
Oh.
But it started anyways. Who cares?
Oh.
Some of the four ballers are actually saying that y'all are cheating, and yet you're still incapable of getting the ball into the proper hole.
Yeah, well.
No cheating here.
No cheating.
Well, at least not by me.
I think that Born Losers are doing quite well considering. They must have been practicing.
No practice.
Keep pushing it out of the goal.
So as the combat guy, I can tell you that one thing is the higher your gust skill, the longer the range on the gust.
Merck says he just wishes Lord British would stop cheating. Oh.
Hey, that is
throwing down the gauntlet.
Well, they do have the Lord of Chaos on their team and the Virtuous guy. So I don't know what the happy medium is. Is it the guy that actually designed all the combat? And the Gustball is bouncing middle of the Firehawk's side still for me.
Yep, it's still there. And we may just have... Oh! Will they do it? No, save by Firehawks. The developers are doing their best to blow the ball into the hole.
Does gust direction have to do with the vector between me and the ball, or the direction of my facing?
Should be you and the ball. You can see they stand right at the goal.
And they're all blocking it, so...
They've got an excellent defensive...
Wait, how... No, let's see, hold on. See, if you notice in your chat log, they are actually having to use tap the soul, or tap soul, although I always call it tap the soul, in order to regenerate their focus. If you actually look at the players, and you can see that Grimace is almost full focus, but Kazin was actually a little bit further down. And in that little break, they actually Z out of combat, so that way they regenerate their focus a lot faster. Yes, Abydos, Lord British, and crew are playing around with a slightly buffier characters than. I think that's why they scheduled the wipe for Thursday so that way they could win this Gustball game.
Yeah, and you see how well it's working for us.
Yeah.
Even with that,
it is. Yes.
Alrighty, so
I think this is our best hope. Is a stalemate.
Is
a stalemate
Firehawks
made
doing
it
their best to
perfectly
get the ball onto the other side of the court? Ball's still in play. Let's see if Born Losers can actually make a score.
So why did you change your name to the Born Losers? They're the Firehawks.
Oh, we're the Born Losers.
Oh, y'all changed your name from the Devs to the Born Losers?
I asked that in advance, yes.
Yeah.
Oh, no, okay, yeah.
I
I
don't know
thought
what
y'all
you're
were going to go with
talking
the... Yeah.
You know, I made a suggestion. I made a suggestion last night on the forums that the dev should implement being possibly struck by lightning during thunderstorms, which would make this game more exciting.
Oh, yeah.
That's the skill that they're using for this contest. The only skill they're allowed to use is gust.
Love the lightning effects and rain effects out there in the game as well now.
Yeah, I mean, it happens on a soccer field all the time.
Oh, so close.
Did I just lose everybody again?
Yeah,
out
you did.
again.
You lost focus on the game again.
1 minute
But
left.
there's one minute left. So far we are still 0-0. Neither team is able to penetrate the goal line and make the ball very happy. Although the ball is extremely happy right now, it is bouncing all over the court. It just happens to be spending most of its time on the Firehawks side.
Oh, they're making a run.
No, stop the ball.
Oh!
That is a goal. We have the first score.
no.
They are now behind.
There it is.
Oh,
man. Oh, man.
No.
Yeah, this feels a lot like soccer, including the scoring.
That is such a tragedy.
Yeah.
Oh, yes.
Clapping.
What are you going to
Do we
get
have even
Justin come out
seconds
and
left?
slay them individually, or do the mass slaying if you lose? One and only the Deathbringer does need to make an appearance again.
There you go.
Oh, let's see. And Edward Newgate is actually calling time, I think.
Yeah, they won.
You got to love the Timex time in game. It's slightly subjective, but we won't complain about that. Wait, you guys can redeem yourselves by playing against the four ballers and try to see if you can actually beat the four ballers.
Who are the four ballers?
That is 4B.
Oh, that's that. Oh, there's another game.
Yes, you'll have a second game because we do have to kill that hour.
All right.
Yeah,
Okay.
we have 10 minutes.
10 minutes left in that hour, but we can jump in. Can we cheat this time?
No, you're not allowed to cheat. And actually, you should reduce your level to level 5 and level up your skills the same way we did. by standing there,
Richard.
Yes.
Dude, don't let Richard.
Okay, so sorry.
Bear is driving. How can that be?
Edward is instructing the Firehawks to leave the field, calling up for a ball.
The goal's open. Quick, go!
Yeah.
There you go. There you go. It's open net. Open net.
Yeah.
And it goes wide. Let's see if Lord British can get the ball in the net.
Even just by himself. No one defending. Richard can't even get it in the goal. Yes. Yes, we have a prayer of winning. Not. All right, come back, Richard.
Wait, the ball's not going anywhere, man.
Come back.
All right.
Come on, we only have a few minutes left. Atos.
Grumble, grumble, grumble. Where's that ball?
Edward will reset it here in just a moment.
Oh, night's falling.
You guys are looking tired.
Edward, if we can get that ball reset.
Gotta reboot.